Hey y'all, what's up, real deal gang? What's up? Not gang, no, we're gonna say gang. What's up, the real deal? Yeah. What's up, y'all? Hope everybody had a wonderful afternoon, evening, morning, night, whatever it is in your country. Thanks for being here for this evening 5, okay? A couple of things that I want to remind y'all that feel free to smash that like button and please subscribe to the channel. Also, people, please join the channel for special perks. $4.99 a month and super chat is welcome. Okay, percentage will go to TikTok and the percentage will come to me. I appreciate it. I want to get into. I've been following the Alex Murdaugh case. Okay, this man is weird. This is weird. They call me weird. I believe he got himself in some trouble, and the responsibility that his responsibility that caused his action is now taking over the decisions that he processed for it to happen. His wife and son was shot. Yes. And money involved. Money. Right. The choices and decisions that he made affect every part of his health. Pay attention to him during the trial. This man is stressing. He's trying to make it look like something wrong with him. You know how you're supposed to act. But what we're gonna do now, y'all, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit more time, and we're gonna watch a video. Now, this particular video right here, I want to put the focus on Alex Murdaugh'S paralegal secretary. She spoke very poorly on him. Yes. His work ethics was just like a task maniac. He was just this. He was just that. He was moving too much. He wasn't respecting them. How some supervisors, how they really need to treat you and appreciate who they have working for them. He didn't acknowledge a lot of things. He was like, he couldn't be still. He couldn't sit down. He couldn't do this. He couldn't do that. So right now, all of this is affecting his health. And we talked about the three parts of the triangle, right? That's going to be dealing with every case that we cover. The physical part of it, social part, mental and emotional part of the health triangle. Okay? All of this going to affect him. It's breaking him down because the people who are taking the stands, eating him alive, but they told him. They told the truth about it. So I'm gonna turn the music down just a little bit, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into the content. What I'm gonna do, I have to do it. I have to break it down. So over here on our channel, y'all already know how the real deals. Y'all know how we do things over here. Okay, Lanita's gives vibes. Y'all know what we do over here. Y'all know how we do it. We vibe together. So what we're gonna do is break it down. You're welcome to join the comment, and later on, what I'm gonna do is Oops, hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. I have to turn the music down a little bit. I love music. And we're going to break this section down. We're not here just to watch a video. We got to break this video down because this is what we have here. It's a reaction channel, okay? Hold on. I'm going to get my phone so I can keep an eye on y'all. And yo, you know what you think about the case? Stay on focus. Stay on the case. Please watch the video and stay on the video. Don't stay on me. Stay on the video and speak what's going on, what they're talking about in that section that we were speaking on. Don't jump past it. Stay where they're talking about, okay? Y'all like to change the aspect of what we're supposed to be talking about. Oh my God, this is good, y'all. My car in the paint shop. Yes. They send you messages, letting you know about your car. Love my car. That car drives good. Okay, here we go. Let me find y'all. Let me see right here. Okay. I gotta put y'all on here. Excuse me, y'all. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Okay, y'all. Here we go. Did I turn the music down? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I don't think I turned the music down. Hold on. Let me make sure it on 1 second. Okay, I turned it down. I'm gonna turn it down some more. Okay, and y'all, let's please pay attention to what's going on. This a lawyer is allegedly charged for killing his family. He said he didn't. This is somebody who y'all pay y'all money to, and he start losing money. Come on, thing. Come on now. Here we go.
GRISWOLD.
Ms. Griswold, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay, thank you.
Good. Can you just tell the jury a little bit about yourself? where you grew up and what you do for a living, please.
Okay. I grew up in Hampton, South Carolina, and lived there for the first 18 years of my life. Graduated from Hampton High. At 18, fell in love with the Carolina area. Next, I spent most of that time in Charlotte. That's where I got married. And with the exception of a few years.
Y'all notice something? You see how it became political? Because the guy who she's speaking of, who the case is about, he used to be he's a lawyer. He's an attorney. And y'all notice that we still in South Carolina? Every case we don't cover in South Carolina? Okay.
Back to Hampton and a few different. My time was spent in Charlotte until 2012. My dad took ill and he wanted us to move closer to be near him, and my mom needed help taking care of him. So I moved home in 2012 after my father passed away. A few months after, I went back on the job search, and I've been out of work for 2 months helping my mom. So I was looking for a job and ran into my friend's father, and he told me I should probably check the law firm. I found out that I had a school friend that worked there, so I reached out to her, sent her my resume, and she forwarded it to the right people. And 3 interviews later, I was working for the firm, and I worked as a paralegal and was hired to work for Alec Murdaugh'S.
What are we talking about?
What everybody refers to as PMPED.
When did you start working there?
July of 2012.
Started working there. Who were you working for?
Alec Murdaugh'S.
And the entirety of the time that you were there up until the time that he was no longer a partner in that firm, is that who you worked for?
That's correct.
So how long was that?
That was a little over 9 years.
Were you the only staff member that he had that was assigned to him?
No, we have, there's 2 of us that work for Alec. I've been with him, like I said, the 9 years. And then the other secretary was Christy Gerald, and she'd been with him about almost double of what I've been there.
Quickly describe for me sort of the division of labor between you and Christy Gerald, please.
I was hired to handle more of the larger cases that Alec had, where it's litigation law, and so it's personal injury for the most part, workers' comp, medical malpractice, premises liability, product liability, wrongful death, trucking cases. And so he wanted me to take over those bigger cases and handle those. And then Christy did more of the day-to-day stuff and the smaller files. Still just as important, but just smaller files than the larger ones.
You had the more complex stuff?
I did.
The bigger cases?
Yes, sir.
Just quickly, how was the defendant as a boss and a lawyer? Just what were his typical work habits, and what was he like in the office?
Extremely intelligent when it comes to the law. I respected and admired that in him greatly. He didn't keep normal hours. He liked to float in later in the time or early afternoon. We always had a running joke. We never knew. We knew that he might not be there all day, but he would always show up right before 5 o'clock when we were ready to leave. So just, kept unset hours. Pretty, I sometimes refer to Alec as a Tasmanian devil, because when he walked in, no matter what you were doing, you were started spinning, because he was coming and shouting everybody's name and ready to get work done when he was walking.
So he's a pretty busy man. In other words, why she had to name him Tasmania? That wasn't too cool.
Or so it was kind of confusing. Are you sick of having your weather? We have time on.
Let me stop this commercial. Got to have the commercial, but let me stop it right quick.
Let me ask you just a little bit. The jury's heard some testimony about disbursement sheets and how they work. And can you just remind them very quickly how that works. Who prepares the disbursement sheets, and how does that go about taking place?
After I find out that a case is settled, I go ahead and start getting my disbursement sheet ready where I can kind of go ahead and expect what the deductions are that are going to come out of it. You know, the attorney's fees, the expenses. Anytime you have Medicare or any health insurance, there's typically a lien on that money, and we are required by law to pay it back. So I go ahead and start looking at all that, draft the sheet, and get everything on it that I know that I'm aware of, and then it goes to Alec, and he makes any changes he needs to, and then once he signed off on it, I send it off to our accounts department and checks.
So with the money part, y'all, she's the one cut the checks and everything. So financially, she's in the business. She sees what he owe, what's going on, okay, with the money. Allegedly.
Are you familiar with what is generally referred to as the boat case?
I am.
And that is the boat wreck that occurred around February of 2019?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware that the defendant was sued civilly in that particular case?
Yes, sir.
After the boat case happened, did you notice any change in the defendant's demeanor around the office and about his work habits?
I did. He was more distant. He was
Okay. She already said when he comes in there, he's moving around. Okay, now she can ready to tell the part, the negative part. You see how people talk about you? Now she about to tell her the part, the breakdown, negative part about him when he come to work. Now she's saying he distant. Okay, you already said it. You say he would Tasmania. Okay, you pay attention to this girl right now, because she work in the office.
It's always hard to sit still and get answers from. And
so you just said that. You already said that. You said Tasmania. He always moving around. Okay.
And to sign our documents and anything that we had put in his office to sign, but it got extremely worse after the boat accident. He was rarely there, and when he was, the door was closed, and it was almost impossible for us to reach him. Even he was always on his phone. He was always dealing with something bigger than what we had going on.
As time moved on into the early part of 2021, did that even get worse?
It did. He would come in lots of times, and he was just not his normal self, or what his normal self used to be. It was just very tense, and I don't know how to describe it. It's just, you could tell something.
So in other words, she by you being, she been working for him since 2012, so she knows her boss. So what she trying to say, he just a whole different man, because he owed so much money, millions of dollars. Hold on, let me see.
The boat crash was heavy on him, and it was consuming his life almost, it seemed like, and he was just harder to reach. And there was a couple instances where I referred to him as having his ass on his shoulders, because that's how I felt. It was disrespectful of me to feel that way and to say that out loud, but that's how I felt, because he just wasn't himself with us anymore. He came in and it was just like yell our names, and
anxiety is kicking in. She talking too much. It's okay for her to talk, y'all. Don't get me wrong, but okay. Okay, don't when they ask you questions, try not to excel on something too much. That's what she's doing. They ask her one question, she's still singing.
Just treats the same way he did prior to the boat accident.
Was the defendant very protective about anyone going into his office?
He was. There was often times where he would come in on a Monday and say, "Who's been in my office?" And we'd be like, "I don't know, probably the cleaning ladies." We have no idea. He was.
Well, I don't want nobody in my office either. You can tell when somebody, that man, he's an attorney, so he don't want nobody on his desk. Even if he wasn't an attorney, I don't want nobody in my office either. So why y'all in my office? Even though if I'm doing something right or wrong, I don't want nobody in my office. I don't want nobody in my office. Now watch how long she sings.
Very cluttered, very unorganized, but he said he knew where his stuff was, that it was organized in his way.
That's right.
Jury's heard a lot of testimony about this, and just in the interest of time, I'm going to ask it this way. Over the years, in various cases, did the defendant ask you to put disbursements to forge on various disbursement sheets so that settlement checks would be prepared from the trust account made out that way?
Yes, sir, he did. I can't remember when it started, but he told me, to put it on Forge. And me knowing Forge Consulting was a legitimate company, I would, on the disbursement sheet, I would put Forge Consulting. And he would say, no, it's not Forge Consulting. If I wanted to be Forge Consulting, I would have told you Forge Consulting. I want it to be Forge. And I was like, well, I don't understand. Isn't the name of the company Forge Consulting? And he told me that, he described it to me. He said, think of it like Forge Consulting is the large company and Forge is kind of under that umbrella of it. So he said, Forge Consulting is the big name, and then you have all different things they do, including Forge, which is more like a savings account than a trust.
So he would actually get you to change it from Forge Consulting to just Forge.
Correct. Even when across the street at the accounts payable department, they would write the check out to Forge Consulting. Lots of times I'd have to reach out to them and say, hey, you wrote this to Forge Consulting, and he says it needs to be forged. And so lots of times they would have to change that.
Those checks that he would have on his disbursement sheets to get cut, made out to Forge, would he often talk to you about picking those up personally?
Yes, I would ask him if I could go ahead and mail it to Michael Gunn at Forge Consulting, because he was our contact. And he would say, no, you know what? I'm seeing Gunn this weekend. He's coming out to the farm, or we're going to meet halfway tonight and have dinner. He always said that he was going to hand deliver it. So I even got to where I would make file notes in my files. Elliot took check to hand deliver, because I was so worried that he was going to lose these checks, because he was, a little loose sometimes, and would leave keys in his vehicle, would misplace things, and so I was so worried that these checks were going to get lost, and then we would have to stop payment, reissue the check. So I started making notes where
wait. So what I'm hearing is he's her boss, so she needs to do what he said do. And then see, the reason why I'm being kind of hard on her, because she's the one that handles his financial. You know what I mean? Situation. If that boss man come in there, if Alex come in there and say, I want you to do this and I want you to do that, she need to close her mouth and do what Alex tell her to do. Because some of his payments could have been missing in the way she doing it. You know what I mean? You never know. So I don't blame Alex. I would say, I know I owe money, but I would say, who been in my office, and she always have an answer. This lady right here have an answer to everything.
That I did actually delivered.
Hey, little bro.
Let me block the. Yeah, she doing a little bit too much. If her boss tell her to do it, whatever he tells her to do, she needs to do what he say do, and start trying to be the boss.
Delivered, at least from who was telling you it was going to be.
That's correct. Yes.
Who was saying that?
Alec was.
All right. When you're talking about the defendant or Alec Murdaugh, do you see him here in the courtroom today?
I do.
Can you point him out to the jury, please?
Yes, he's over in it looks like a navy blue jacket.
Your Honor, can the record reflect these sheets identify the defendant? You mentioned he would say that, I'm going to see Gunn, I'm meeting him halfway, we're going hunting, things like that. Who's Michael Gunn?
Michael Gunn he's our contact. He's the person we would talk to when it comes to trust annuities with Forge Consulting.
And that's the real Forge, correct?
That's correct.
Not the fake Forge.
Not the fake Forge.
moving into the latter part of 2020, did you have any particular issue arise with the disbursement to Forge that caught your attention? Tell me about
I did.
that. Tell me about that.
I was currently working from home. I'd had surgery on Halloween of 2020, and I was working from home, hadn't come back yet. I was planned to come back to the office the following Monday. And on that day, I believe it was December 15th of 2020, I got a phone call from the accounts payable department. Nicole called me, and she's one of the ladies that cuts the checks and works for Jeannie Seckinger. And she told me that she had just got a disbursement sheet over, that Christy had sent over a disbursement sheet in one of my files. It made no sense. She didn't understand it. And why didn't he contact me my disbursement? Because I'm kind of protective over my files. If I've worked that file the whole time, I want to finish that file. I want to work the whole process of it. And actually, the disbursement part is my favorite part of the file, because I want to be able to have that, be there when that client gets their money and gets that closure that they deserve. So I thought it was very odd that Christy was drafting a disbursement in one of my files, and that's correct. I was working from home, and I still could have been reached, but I wasn't until Nicole reached out to me and told me.
So, in other words, somebody
to me.
Man. In other words, it seemed like somebody is working. Somebody is working his money. Whoever these people, you can have people supposed to be working for you and they working against you. It seemed like somebody, listen to what she's saying. It seemed like somebody dipping in his business. That's what they doing. They dipping in his business, because she could have did her own file, like she said. She was working for home. Yeah, I know we were doing virtual. Okay.
A line on it that said the attorney fees were going, or amount of it was going to Forge, and I didn't understand how that was happening, and I'd never sent attorney fees to Forge before, and so I didn't know that that was even a possibility. And so I called the office, and Christy transferred to LA, and I spoke to him and asked him about it. And he said, why didn't Nicole call you? And I said, well, she doesn't know how to write these checks out, because it doesn't make sense for her. She hasn't ever seen a disbursement like this. And he said, I'll take care of it. And so
in other words, what I'm hearing Alex saying, she act more like she the boss. This lady right here can be dipping in his business. She act like she the boss, like Alex said. Why did she call you? You at home. Why did that lady have to call her? And if she wants to know so much, she wants to know a lot. She all in his business.
Talking to Nicole later and say, so what did he say? What was the reason behind it? He said that they can structure their attorney fees, and that's what that check was for.
Did you have a subsequent discussion with the defendant about that?
I did, and he told me the same thing. He said it was something that they've been able to do forever. He just never took advantage of it before, and so now he decided that he was going to start structuring those attorney fees where it would make have interest from. And so it made sense, because why not? Why not? Instead of having that money sit somewhere, put it somewhere where it's going to draw more money.
Oh, so what he was doing, Alex was doing, was playing. What is Alex doing with so many $1 million? What is he doing? What he doing? What kind of man is he? What is he dealing with? 'Cause he's not putting all the attorney fees and stuff to the play. He put it on the side like that. You got money out, like he got money laying out like that. Alex doing something to be broke.
On its face. You remember that case?
That was the Hirschberger case.
I'm going to show you.
This new veneer is bringing smile.
Hold on, y'all. She a mess. watch her leave. Sometimes they could like their boss. That's Alice in the middle, y'all, with the red hair with the
Show you
glasses.
what's
on.
already been admitted to evidence, the state's 429, and see if you recognize this document.
Yes, I do. This is the disbursement that was on in December of 2020 that I was talking about.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
2020.
At that point in time, we're in December of 2020. Is that right?
That's correct.
After the defendant gave you that explanation that seemed valid to you on your face, did that matter just kind of go away at that point in time?
It did. It was kind of, always at the back of my mind because I still felt like there should have been some kind of paper trail, but yeah, the explanation worked that he gave me. And so I was trying to just go along with it because I thought it was valid.
So, and then too,
As we move on into January,
then too, she might be trying to protect herself like you supposed to. When you work around money, you got to protect yourself because people will say that you took the money, you did this. So I like her. I like how she handled her business on her job, so they won't blame her for nothing.
and 2021, another incident that happened that you just mentioned.
Yes, end of January, it was a Friday afternoon. I left early that day to take my mom to the eye doctor, and kind of the same scenario of kind of an exact repeat of December happened again. Nicole from Accounts Payable called me, and I said, "What's going on?" And she said, "Well, I've got another one." And so Christy had drafted a disbursement and a case for two.
Yeah, but hold up. Alice he told the girl, the other lady who she talking about, who keep calling her, giving her information. She's called this girl right here again. Why is it that this young lady right here got to know everything about that Alice do? The girl called her again. Is she telling that girl to call her? I want her to take this stand. I want that girl to take the stand because she got to be telling that girl to call her because she acting like she wants to know everything Alice is doing. This lady.
More, and she had sent it over, and once again it had the same wording and kind of confusion that the Hirschberger one had a month previous. So she didn't really understand it again. Still, she was still trying to say, I feel like we need more information on this. And I said, I do too. And so kind of the same scenario as before, I reached out to Ella, he reached out to Nicole, and ultimately the checks got written. But it was the same scenario as you can see on here. The $91,867.50 was attorney fees that were structured that went straight to what we now know was the fake forge.
Wow. Is that called? I'm not good with legal names. Is that called money laundering? What they doing? Is that's what they doing? Money laundering or something like that? Because not her, but what Alice is doing. Because he's dealing with this same person with a fake check. It happened twice, and Nicole continues to call this lady right here. Okay.
All right. And is that still in the Hirschberger matter you're talking
That's
about?
the Hirschberger one, and on the Thomas More one, it
We'll
was
get there in a second.
okay.
When you got that call, do you remember where you were the second call?
Yeah, the Thomas More. I was at the eye doctor with my mom.
Right. I'm still on Hirschberger. Do you remember where you were on that?
Oh,
second?
I was home. I'd had surgery and I was home recovering.
And I'm gonna.
Y'all notice something. She never at work with those two company names. She never at work. On the first one, she was at home in surgery. And then the next one, she in the next moment, she taking her mama to the doctor on both of them cases. And that girl had to get in touch. Nicole keep calling her. But that's not her boss. Nicole is not her boss. Alice Murdaugh is her boss. I don't trust her too much. I got to look into her. That's what make me come back to her. I've seen this before, but I'm trying to figure her out.
Show you this, and we're still in the same exhibit, that being 429. Do you recognize that at all? Let me hand this exhibit to you. Probably easier that way. Just take a flip through it, if you would, please.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is what we refer to now as the second Hirschberger disbursement. It was on the UIM portion of the case and liability portion. So once again, the PMP attorney's fees were routed to Forge in the amount of $83,333.33.
God, Lee, what's going on right there? This Alice playing money games. He playing money game with that person, with that company and another company. And every time they does this, they get in touch to her. Nicole.
I think the ghost fucked my husband.
Yeah, this get on my nerve. Commercial get on my nerve. I can't stand it when I be into something.
I'm sorry, what?
All right, you had started to talk about Thomas More. Is that another incident that came to your attention as we're moving into early 2021?
Yes, sir. That one, like I said, was at the end of January. Once again, I was out of the office. I was at an eye doctor with my appointment with my mom. Got a call from Nicole. She said it's the same scenario. But this time it was all of the funds that was in client's trust, which was $125,000.
What?
And all of those funds were being routed. That was attorney fees and client money that was being routed to the fake Forge.
And this was another one of your cases, is that right?
It was. So another situation where I'm out of the office. It's almost 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday.
Y'all, listen. These are her case load. These here are her cases that she's supposed to handle. So why is she always out the office when that situation going down? That's why this attorney who's questioning her is continuously questioning her, because he's trying to figure it out like me. Why is she always out the office when it comes down to this particular person that they are talking about?
Drafts, they send it over in my absence.
When these instances are happening that you're describing to the jury, where you happen to be out of the office, and these are cases, right?
That's correct.
And all of a sudden, communications.
Y'all pay attention. I just said what this attorney said. Every time these two particular people send their money in or whatever like that, this girl right here always out the office. She got every excuse. Listen to what he about to ask her.
That some disbursements in any of these cases, was there anything going on that something had to be done that very day that you just happened to be out of the office?
I didn't think so, because in particular the Thomas More case, we were working on the third party portion of the case, but there was also a workers' comp portion. that another attorney was working on. And when you're working on a workers' comp case, if you settle the third party first, you can't disperse it until the workers' comp portion is taken care of, because workers' comp always has a huge lien that you have to negotiate for the client. So the money was supposed to sit there. It was my understanding it would probably be sitting there another year until the workers' comp portion of the case was settled. So those funds didn't need to go anywhere. So it was very odd that all of a sudden they're all sent to Forge because they were supposed to remain in the account, was my understanding.
You take pride in the work that you do on these complex cases?
I do.
Do you know your cases very well?
I'd say I do.
And was there any reason of which you were aware that things had to be happening the day that they were?
I did. No, it definitely put up another yellow flag, and it made me think about the previous one that happened in Hirschberger in December, because both of them was kind of the same scenarios. Me out of the office, someone else drafting it, and not that we can't work in each other's files. We can, but it's easy.
Oh, I see what she trying to say. She trying to say that things is going on. They take her cases, the cases that she used to control, they keep bringing those cases up at work while she's out the office. So they don't want this young lady, right, this paralegal right here, they don't want her in the office when they doing the case that she used to do. I hope I ain't confused y'all. It's more like she worked that case, but things they try to do the case when she out the office. That's what it sounds like she trying to say. Why y'all didn't send it to me? Why y'all giving it to Nicole? And why is it going on when I'm out the office?
And if it's not, I had to go in somebody else's file and draft a disbursement. I may not know that there's a lien or a certain promised medical bill or anything else that needs to be paid. So that's why to me it's easier if somebody that's worked the case actually drafts the disbursement, because they know all the deductions that happen.
Right.
Was the defendant using the opportunity of you being out of the office to push these things through?
Yes, in hindsight, it was easy to see that they caused the sending it over at 10 minutes before 5 p.m. was kind of a way of part of the hurricane, a little tornado portion, just sending it over when most people are gone. And it's just going to get done quickly and no questions asked.
Tom 401 was particularly unusual because it was workers' comp and those funds couldn't be dispersed yet.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever have a conversation with the defendant about why these funds were dispersed?
I did, and he explained to me that he had gotten permission that since the money was going to be sitting there another year, that they were going to send it to Forge and let it draw interest, and then that would be money that would draw interest on for the client as well as the firm, because it was both portions of the money.
What?
I'm going to show you what's already been admitted into evidence. It's stage 328. See if you recognize this document.
Somebody doing some slick stuff.
Yes, this is the Thomas More disbursement that I'm referring to, that where the entire client trust amount of $125,000.
Wow. You recognize the signature down at the bottom of the page?
I do. Alex signed it where it says R. Alexander Murdaugh, and then where the client signature is, that is not the client signature. It's Alex handwriting.
You recognize this handwriting?
Oh, Alex sounds like he's not making off money he's making the money in his office, but he's abusing the money that people turn in where it might have to sit. So if you got money that got to sit for a week, what you think you're gonna do is get paid, and then you supposed to put the money back in time. I see what's going on. Yeah.
I do.
Look at Alex. Look at him.
Dinner.
Wherever he chewing on, it gotta be good. Ooh, it's
More
somebody
than
in
just
business.
the meal you make.
I keep doing it. This is good, y'all. I like stuff like this. They ain't tripping. Yeah, I have been stealing. And he had to pay that money back, so he had to find out ways to pay that money back. So he used his family.
Did the defendant have a case going on around this time involving Mack trucks?
He did, what we refer to as the Ferris case. We actually went to Columbia and had a bench trial in that case in January of 21.
Did you work on that case to some extent?
I did,
Was that one of the ones for you?
yes.
Was the defendant the only lawyer on that case, or were there other lawyers?
No, there was 2 co-counsels that had brought us in. Wayne Ridgway was the first attorney that received that case. He reached out to Chris Wilson's office, and Chris joined the case as well. And then Chris reached out to our firm, and so now there's a third attorney, which was Alec, involved in it.
Ultimately, was that case tried before a judge?
It was bench trial, like I said, in January of 2021.
And did the judge issue a verdict in favor of the firm's clients?
Did, yes, sir. And the next month, I think sometime in February, we got a very nice verdict for the clients.
Who's going to be dispersing the fees in that once that money came in? Is that going to be PMPD, or was it going to be the other attorneys?
Chris Wilson's office.
Had the firm PMPD had any accrued costs in the course of that litigation?
Yes.
Expenses?
Yes.
And did you prepare those and send those to Chris Wilson's office, or how did that work?
I did. I put the totals in an email and sent them to, Ellen wanted me to send him the totals by email, and so that's what I did. And then I guess he sent them to Chris after that.
And then after that happened, you remember what month the money came in?
In May,
Let me slow you down. Once you've done that, when the money comes in, you said Chris Wilson's office is going to be handling that disbursement, right?
Yeah.
correct.
What are you expecting to happen next?
I'm
Yeah.
expecting copies of the settlement paperwork, copies of the disbursement sheets signed by the client, and I'm expecting 2 fee checks and 2 expense reimbursement checks, because there's 2 cases. It was a case for the
Yeah, I got him.
deceased and a case for his wife. So I'm expecting 4 checks total.
I got a question. And I know somebody else out there got this same question. I got a question. Do Alex know that his paralegal is doing this? You know what I mean? Do he know what's going on? Is this her job to do what she's doing? You know what I mean? When she out of the office, is this her job? If she's Alex paralegal, why isn't he not trusting her to do what needs to be done where she can do it from home? Because usually principals and everything, and like lawyers, they contact that's only just that person to deal with that particular case. Y'all see what I mean? So why is they letting the other girl stick her hands in it? I don't understand it. Do Alex trust her, or do he trust her to where he don't want her to tell nothing? You see, y'all understand what I'm saying? Like, she know his business. She been with him since 2012. Okay? So what I'm saying is, she knows everything. Why isn't Alex contacting her about that particular paperwork, that case, instead of doing it when Nicole there? Why don't you wait? Why don't you call and contact his paralegal right here? That's what I'm saying. It's some money, allegedly we already know it's about money, because the game ain't playing right. It's not right.
You're about to call for something in May. Did something happen related to the Ferris case in May?
Yes, I received by mail a the settlement package from Chris Wilson's office, but all it contained was a cover letter and the 2 expense reimbursement checks. So I emailed Vicky Lyman, which is Chris Wilson's secretary, and said something on the something like, "Hey girl, I got these expense checks in. When can I expect the attorney fee checks?" And she replied to my email telling me that, excuse me, "Hey friend, you know the attorney's got that money at disbursement." And I was really shocked because I didn't even know when the disbursement took place. I was never supplied copies of it or anything.
Wow.
What's your thought when you when Vicky says that? What do
Yeah.
you think may have happened?
Well, I called her and I said, you already gave the checks. I was like, I don't think we've received them. And she was like, yeah, they were done at disbursement in March. And so I asked her first to send me over copies of the disbursement sheets and where I could look at those. And then I reached out across to our accounts payable just to make sure that checks somehow bypassed me and went straight to into the client trust to their department. And they told me no, that they didn't have any such checks on the books either. And I was like,
what?
Okay. So I assumed they gave Villett the checks and he's lost them. They're misplaced.
What? What? How is he gonna sit there being an attorney and losing people money? That's why I was telling y'all, when I put my cashier money in I went to the bank, got a cashier check to send somewhere. I made sure when I put my check in that woman's hand at that office, she was trying to make every excuse. I said, I gave her the check, and I was scared she was going to lose my check at that attorney office like she's saying. So the paralegal, I said, she thought I was going, I like for folks to think that I'm not paying attention when it comes down to money. I said, can I have a receipt? And she said, oh, okay, like, wow. Take your breath, sister. I need a receipt that I put my cashier check in your hand. And every check I get, cashier check, she gonna put a receipt in my hand. I'm not gonna, y'all don't get, I know you got a receipt with the cashier check, but get an extra receipt from them. I always do that, because see, right now, everybody's pocket kind of hot. Now, right now, they got a check that didn't make where it's supposed to went. That's what this case. Somebody's taking money. Somebody's stealing money.
This truck, there's some folder stuck and just kind of hid away that he's forgotten to give him money.
Wait, hold up. That's not business. Alex playing game with them folks' money. How is a check gonna be in his truck and he got an office to keep money in? That don't even sound right. Maybe he got it in his truck and he lost it. He misplaced. You making an excuse for Alex. Something ain't right.
Why'd you give
Yeah.
them,
So
boss?
why? I said, why would you do that? I was like, why would you give checks to the attorney? Why wouldn't you send them straight to me where I can get them them deposited?
Yeah.
Put states 312. It's already in evidence, and this is the page marked date stamp 2371 for the record.
Somebody deposit money.
Screen. Can you see that on your little screen? Do I need to bring that in?
I can see it.
And can you tell the jury what that is?
That is the email I was talking about where I told her I just got the expenses, but where's the fee? And she says it's because your boss and mine and Liz's got their fees once they were signed.
What? Duh.
Okay, everybody, ready?
The merchants get on my nerve. I'm so into this case. I wanted to keep rolling. Man, somebody take it. Somebody playing some games. This is good. I like this.
I did.
So you called the finance in your own firm and said, "Hey, did we get this check?" And they
Correct.
said no.
They said no. And so I
What?
verified that. And then I asked Vicky, I said, "Are you positive?" And she said, "Yes." And I was like, "Okay, I'll go see if he remembers where they're at." So he happened to be in the office by that time. His door was closed. I went in on the phone and I kind of kept checking and going back. Eventually I got to speak to him and he was still kind of on the phone, but he was like, "No, I didn't get the check." And he said, "Yeah." And I was kind of back and forth. Like, "You said you can get them. Are you sure?" And just kind of went back and forth for a few minutes. And
Oh,
over the
Lord.
course of the rest of the day. And I said, "Hey, he just told me that Chris was still holding those funds in trust." I was like, "I don't understand, you say that they've been cut." I was like, "Can you send me copies of stuff? Because I don't see anything." And he's telling me their funds are in trust. And she was like, "Annette, I know for a fact that the checks are cut. There is no money in trust. And the reason I know that is because when the checks were written to Alec, I knew it was a bit odd because they were written to Richard. They were written out to him personally instead of the firm."
What?
And I said,
Hold up. What? So somebody working with Alex. Somebody from the firm is working with Alex. Dun, 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 dun. Let me sit back some, y'all. I had to take my hair back down in the back because they got to redo it. They got to redo it. It don't grow out. Oh, yeah, somebody working with Alex. Oh, yeah, baby. Look at the attorney. It's good.
Firm.
"Correct."
Why did that stick out in her mind? Why did that stick out in your mind?
Yeah.
Because common sense tells me that the attorney fees belong to the firm, where the firm, I don't know, I didn't understand the complete breakdown until Jeannie went over it in her testimony, but I knew by common sense that the funds belong to the firm. And then once they do whatever percentages and everything they need to do, then the attorney gets his portion later. So I knew it wasn't right, that it shouldn't have never gone to an individual attorney. It should go to the firm as a whole.
Whoa.
You asked the defendant and said, "Hey, Vicky's got this." He tells you what?
He told me that Chris was holding that money in trust, that it had not been dispersed yet.
Did he tell you Vicky's wrong?
Yeah, he told me Vicky's wrong. I don't care what she's telling you, she's wrong.
What was his demeanor when you were inquiring?
Yeah.
Just
Sounds
kind of like, just shooing me out of his office. Like, I don't have time for this.
What? Alex.
After Vicky tells you that.
Y'all, what he got in his mouth? Look at him over there. This him right here, y'all. Whatever he chewing on, she sure making him nervous. He chewing that thing like it. Yeah, somebody playing his game with him. I'm watching you, baby. I be watching folk when it come down to money.
Because the check's been made out professionally instead of the law firm. What did you do next?
I asked her, I said, "Are you sure?" And she said, "Yes." And she said, "Yeah, it was written out to him." Well, first I was like, "I'm sorry, what did you say?" And I made her repeat it to make sure I heard correctly. And she was like, and then kind of while she was saying it out loud, I think it kind of registered to her, "Oh, wait, that probably wasn't the right thing to do." Because she kind of hushed after that and didn't want to talk and kind of.
I told y'all. What I tell y'all? Yeah, somebody working with Alex. See, she wrote the check to Alex, y'all. Yeah. Look, they writing checks to Alex instead of to the people they supposed to be sending it to. Ain't this a mess? Alex, you may be doing some time, bro.
Get off the phone with me. And so I still kind of tried to question Alec over the next couple of days and tried to get a reasonable explanation of what was going on, because in my mind, I'm still hoping he just lost the checks and this was all just a misunderstanding. But at the back of my mind, there's this huge red flag telling me this is not right. What is going on?
Yeah, right.
Did you eventually take this issue to anyone else since you couldn't get an answer about it?
Yes. I eventually, I don't know the exact date, but I eventually emailed Jeannie Seconder and asked her if she was in the office because I really needed to speak to her. And she said she would be back later that day. And so I went into her office and I had everything printed out and kind of showed her and told her my concerns. And she was instantly on, excuse me, on high alert as well because, it didn't look good. We were still both hoping that it was a misunderstanding, just this one-off, something silly that happened, but now
And then here go Alice brushing his. Gone. I don't have time for that. Get out of here. I know you don't have time for that because you owe too much money. Why are you owing? Why you got so much money, Miss? What are you doing with the money? And then too, it seemed like it could be somebody working with Alice or working against Alice, or Alice working against herself. We don't know.
feeling of this is not, something is definitely wrong.
Did Jeannie instruct you to do anything?
She did not. She said that she would talk to him about it, and she kept the paperwork that I gave her.
Were you ever asked to send another email to Vicky asking for particular documents?
Yeah, actually, it was kind of my idea. I kind of told Jeannie, I was like, hey, why don't we do this? Why don't you send me an email telling me what we need, and then I'll forward that email for myself, and to see if we can get copies of everything where we can figure all this out and eliminate it. Because at this point, we want to prove that suspicion we have is wrong and that everything's really okay. So she did. She forwarded me the email, and
I'm still on States 312. What's been bank stamped is 2374. Is this the email that you just described that Jeannie forwarded to you? Request documentation for the Ferris fees?
it is underneath where Jeannie texts there or emails there, tells me exactly what she needs and kind of is very specific.
At what time? What date was that? I'm sorry.
That was May 27th at 11:40 a.m.
All right. And then going over to 2373 in the same exhibit, is this the email right here that you then forwarded to Vicky Lyman at Chris Wilson's office?
Yes, it was. I forwarded that email that Jeannie sent me on the same day, May 27th, and I knew she was on vacation, but I went ahead and sent this to her. And then when I knew she had time to get back from vacation, I sent this also on June 2nd and requested it again.
And
You're sick of having issues with your webinar?
Commercials, I am. Oh, y'all, what y'all thinking? Y'all got to be thinking. Y'all put it in the comment section. Oh, they stealing. Somebody, Alex either doing it and putting it on the girls.
did you get a response email from Vicky Lyman in Chris Wilson's office?
Yeah, she said she didn't, this doesn't involve her, and she said she would forward it to Chris. And we were basically just asking for copies of everything where we could clear this matter up.
Yeah.
And, like I said, we wanted our suspicion to be wrong.
Look at Alex. He mad. I don't know what he chewing on. He been, look at him. Look. I love it.
Already in evidence. We'll show you what's been marked as Exhibit 440 to your testimony. And again, just tell me, first of all, just if without going into the content, whether or not you recognize that particular document.
I do. It's a text strand between myself and Vicky Lyman.
And is this what is the date on that particular text strand?
June 2nd, and then it runs into June 3rd.
And is that 2021?
Yes, I'm sorry, 2021.
And is this a text thread where y'all are discussing the things that you described here today?
Yeah, I told her I just, don't mention anything.
Hold on, real quick. Y'all are describing what we're talking about here today? Right, Your Honor, this time I would move stage 440 in that.
Your Honor, object on hearsay grounds. It doesn't fall within exceptions to the hearsay rule.
See the document.
Alice don't care for her, y'all. He don't care for her.
Sustain the objection. Did you ultimately text Vicky on that particular day?
I did. I told her that I gave her time to get back from vacation, and I just basically texted her with my concerns and told her how stressed out I had been over this situation and how I was hoping my suspicion was wrong, but I was really stressed out. And unfortunately, my phone, Vicky called me as well, and my daughter had. So she instantly got like really worried for me. And
Okay. Are you stressed? Why are you so stressed out about the money if Alex, the boss man, not? Why are you so stressed out, worried? Alex told you to get out of his office. He don't have no time for that. Y'all see what I'm saying? Somebody playing with some money. And Alex don't seem to care because I don't know. Sometimes your boss people can be doing things behind your back and you don't know it, but Alice told her why is she stressed and he's not? She don't run the company. She ain't got to replace the money. Alex got to replace that money. That's why he in debt now, because he ain't paying attention to the women who work for him. I just hit it.
my daughter said, you're going to get your resume because once you turn all this in, they may fire you. So she was very concerned.
Wait a minute. Let me rewind it. Listen to what her daughter told her. Listen.
See the document. Sustain the objection. Did you ultimately text on that particular day?
I did. I told her that I gave her time to get back from vacation, and I just basically texted her with my concerns and told her how stressed out I had been over the situation. I was hoping my suspicion was wrong, but I was really stressed out. And unfortunately, my daughter, me and Vicky had talked on the phone. Vicky had called me as well, and unfortunately, my daughter had overheard me too. So she instantly got like really worried for me. And my daughter said, "Mom, you need to go ahead and get your resume because once you turn all this in, they may fire you." So she was very concerned for me.
And this latest email on the screen, that was June 2nd, 2021.
That's correct.
You recall June 7th, 2021.
I did.
Was that a Monday?
It was.
Were you at work that day?
I was.
Did the defendant come to work that day?
He did. He came in probably around lunchtime. I can't remember if he came in before lunch or after, but somewhere in that time frame.
Did you see Jeannie's second juror that day?
I did. Jeannie had already told me that she was going to talk to Alec about the Ferris e-checks that were missing. She was going to go and talk to him about them that day, and so she asked me to let her know when he got it to the office. So when he got to the office, I reached out to her to let her know.
Did she come up to your area?
She did. We have open style offices, no doors on the secretary's offices. So she had to pass by me to get Alec's office. So I saw her when she was walking past.
Did she give you any look when she walked past?
She did. It was kind of just like that. You know, just kind of a raised eyebrow, like wish me luck, here goes nothing kind of look. Like, you know,
why do I feel like that about Alice? I never seen usually women who work like that with their boss man. Paralegals work in the office with their boss man. They either try to be cute and try to look sexy for him and be making sure that his money is going right. But it seemed like somebody else got their hands in Alice's business. And I think they need to bring her back to the stand. She and Nicole. Some of the women could be involved with him. Somebody taking them checks. And Alice acting like he look like the type that he know he's supposed to make money. Money laundering, that's what it is.
Just like I said, to get answers and
Get answers about what?
about those missing checks and figure out what was going on.
So why are you so worried? Y'all see what I mean? She acting more like she the boss. She acting like everybody got to report to her. Everybody got to tell her. Why is she so concerned about everything? Why? Alice not worrying about no check. And why is Alice not worrying about the checks? Because he know where the check's going? What's going on here? She's worrying about something she don't need to be worrying about. Just do your job. Whatever he tell you to do, do it. Just do your job. Anything go down, it's gonna go to him. Stop worrying about that check. She uptight, but get on my nerve at work. I'd be hoping she stay at home.
Where did you go after she gave you that look?
I heard Alec's doors closed, so I assumed in his office to talk to him.
This is what day?
This is June 7th, 2021.
Did she come out after?
She did, and she didn't stop. She just hurried by my desk and she went on about her business.
Look, listen, y'all. The girl who she been communicating with on the phone and everything, who was telling her about the checks and everything. When she came out of Alice's office, her office right here before you go to Alice's office. When she came out of the office, she went zoom past. Alice don't want her to know nothing. Alice don't want this lady right here to know anything. He told her, just go past her, don't stop or nothing like that. Because you remember Alice brushed her away from he said, go out of my office because I don't have time for this. He keep brushing her off. Now he got the other ladies going against her. What's going on here?
Did you have any conversation yourself about the Ferris fees with the defendant that day?
Don't recall having any discussion with him on that day. At that point, I turned, Jeannie had everything and it was kind of in her hands.
What time do you think you left work that day?
I left at 5:15 that day.
Is that your normal time?
It's not. I typically work later. Alec always tend to work nights, and he usually tend to kind of adapt his schedule a little bit and work a little later than 5 o'clock. Most of the time, we were there till 5:30, 6 o'clock.
I think she like this. Allegedly now, everything is allegedly. Now I think she like, you know how you got a crush on your boss man and he ain't giving you no attention. He seemed like he don't want to be bothered with her for some reason. Oh Lord, they said don't tell her nothing, she too nosy. Woo.
You left the office on 21 at 5:15. Still there?
He was.
Go home. Eventually went home.
Yes.
Just a normal night.
Yeah, I went straight home that night.
Did that change at some point?
Yes, definitely. My phone was on silence, and I slept through a bunch of text messages and calls. I woke up in the middle of the night, and my phone was just full, and I was like, "What is going on?" And so I'm looking through the text messages. They make a lot of sense. I see I have a voicemail message from Randy Murdaugh. And so I checked the voicemail, and I could tell he was upset and crying. And he said, "Annette, please call me when you can. It doesn't matter what time."
What?
And so I don't remember what time it was, but it was sometime in the middle of the night, and I called him.
Wow.
And he told me, well, when he answered the phone, he was upset, obviously. And I said, "Randy, what's wrong?" And he said, "It's bad, and it's real bad." And I said, "Oh, no, Mr. Randolph passed." And he said, "No, it's not Dad, it's Maggie and Paul." And I said, "What?" And he said, "They've been shot and murdered." And I said, "What?"
Wait a minute, y'all. Why was they killed? And money was on, folks were stealing money. How did they get shot? Think about all the money. Think about whoever was giving his money for their case. Was he taking the money and giving them, and they said, if you don't do something at a certain time, we're gonna kill your family? Or did he do it? What? Insurance. Let's talk about the insurance money. Let's talk about everything. Cause Alice kept brushing her away, and now they've been calling her through the night to talk about his wife. This is crazy.
It was very overwhelming. I mean, we cried on the phone with each other, and you know, obviously the first thing I did was say, "Oh my God, how is Alec? You know, how is he? Is he okay? Where's Buster? Is Buster okay?" I was very concerned. You know, I had a million thoughts running in my head. I was like, "Are you guys safe? You know, is this something aimed at the entire family? You know?" And I was very, very worried about Alec and Buster and Randy.
When is it anything aimed at the family? She worries a lot. What happened? What was going on? We got checks missing. Money is not reaching where it's supposed. Checks are not reaching where it's supposed to rest. Alice knows something, and she curious about it.
And they, it was very overwhelming.
Over the 9 years of working closely for the defendant, did you also get to know his family, Maggie and Paul and Buster?
I did.
So she know everybody. She know the family. She knows everybody because she been with him 12 years. I wonder, with somebody, what was going on for that to happen? We know it's money. But he didn't want her to know. She's the head. She is the head. She is the head worker, paralegal. Why was stuff secretly not told to her?
Is this firm pretty tight knit?
Yes.
What was the reaction of the people in the firm to this terrible news?
There was two reactions. First was scared. We were like, please lock our doors. We're scared. Who is the same dad? Is it a client retaliating? Is it, aimed at Alec?
Is it a client that is retaliating? Retaliating from what? What's going on for a client to retaliate? So this lady right here got a lot of quote, like things going on up here. Retaliate from what?
We just had so many questions, no answers, a million thoughts running through our heads. We were just there, supporting each other and helping one another through this grieving process. And at the same time, we were very protective over Alec and Randy. We wouldn't let them leave the office if strange cars were driving around. We would say, don't walk out yet. There's a white car that's went around 3 times. I mean, we were in complete mama bear mode. We didn't want them to go out and have to talk to reporters. We didn't want them to have to run out and run into anybody. And we were scared for them.
Yeah. I don't trust her. I don't trust her. I don't trust this lady right here. I'm sorry. I don't trust her. It's something about this woman. And why would your daughter say that they might fire you? Why is your daughter saying that about you? That they may fire you after this? I don't trust her.
We were very protective. I mean, anything suspicious out the window, we were on high alert.
Said, what kind of mode?
Ooh.
Mama bear mode.
Mama bear protecting who?
Protecting Alec and Randy.
Did the law firm community rally to the aid of the defendant?
They did.
Was that the primary focus on everybody's mind?
Oh,
in the aftermath?
absolutely.
Were you at all concerned about finding out what happened to these Ferris fees after that happened?
What Ferris fees? Yeah, what Ferris fees? That was the furthest thing on my mind.
You're the guy with the gun. The person
Shit. That one right there, a mess. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Hold up. Yeah, I got to hear her.
In fact, was that the time you really thought about it in any aspect until September of 2021?
It is, yes, sir.
And you were more focused on helping this defendant and his family in the aftermath of this tragedy that had happened.
Yes. And everybody was so supportive. Some of the associate attorneys stepped up and they came up to me and Christy and said, hey, if you need anything over the next few weeks, you need us to review a file for you, get something else, sign it and get it out the door. We're here for you guys 100%. So it wasn't, we were supportive, and then we had other folks in the office that were coming up to us, supporting us as well, because they knew we were at a standstill.
Okay, I got a question.
We knew obviously he was.
Where was Alex the night when she put her phone on silence? I got to find out were they killed in the day, were they killed at night? Because she said her phone, she was asleep, and the phone was she had it on silent, and they was calling. So I'm thinking about that. What time? I don't hear nobody speaking about time, and time is important.
Not going to be the same and not be himself for quite a while.
I asked you earlier about the boat case. Before the murders, when the boat case happened, had there been some reaction and backlash in the community against the defendant and his family after the boat case?
Yes, it was very difficult because Hampton being a small town, we all know each other and we all know both sides for the most part. For instance, Mallory Beach, her father is my first cousin. So Mallory Beach, I was kind of felt like I was in between a rock and a hard place because, her family is, beyond heartbroken over the loss of her. And I know some of them didn't like the idea that I was still working at the firm, but I was still, to me, it was two separate entities. This is my job. This was my family. And
this is my job and this is my family. And you handled the case? I don't know about Bessie. I don't know about you, Miss Bessie.
had to keep them separate. I didn't want any boat wreck case. I didn't want to know any details or anything.
Oh, okay. So, okay, I see what she's saying. She didn't want to know no detail from the case, but she had to know. But even though she didn't know about it at work, so that means that she said she didn't cover that case, which is good. But then you got to think about she got this, that still her family member knows something. You know what I mean? She communicating with her family. These folks are mess, honey. Yeah, I'm making me hungry.
Like I said, I was family and my work life separate.
After the murders, you said the law firm community, though, rallied to Alex aid, correct?
Absolutely, everybody.
Did the larger community do as well
Yes, they did.
after the murders?
Yes, sir.
You mentioned that after those murders happened, the workforce fees, they were the farthest thing from your mind,
Yes,
correct?
sir.
When did they come back to your attention?
September 2nd, it was a Thursday in the afternoon, and I was looking for a file in the file cabinet, and I was unable to locate it. And lots of times, if Alex talking to a client on the phone, he'll yell for a file, and he'll take it to him. So I was like, oh, it's probably in his office. So I went to his office to look for the file, and we found out.
Yeah, I got a question. Do y'all think Alex, since it's his law firm, do y'all think his paralegal and do y'all think his paralegal legal assistant, do y'all think she made good decisions? Or were they bad decisions? Or were they poor decisions? I don't think they analyzed their decision. I think they made poor decisions. Because Alex and her, he seemed like that. The case, see, then what it sound like to me, y'all. The case that involves her people, she don't know about it, allegedly. But Alex know about the case. So did Alex have a problem with her people? See, we don't know what's going on right there. Why they go like she said, they're in a small town. I don't know.
I picked it up, did a check, kind of floated like a feather to the ground. And when I bent over to pick it up, I saw the check and what it said and had on it, and I instantly became very upset.
What?
Because it happened to be one of the checks from the Ferris case that didn't exist.
What?
Hold up. Now, you bent over and found the check off the floor. Who put that check there, y'all? Come on. Let me let y'all hear that again. Somebody playing games.
This is my job. This was my family, and I had to keep them separate. I didn't want any part of the boat wreck case. I didn't want to know any details or anything because, like I said, I was keeping my family life and my work life separate.
After the murders, you said the law firm community, though, rallied to Alex A, correct?
Absolutely, everybody.
Did the larger community do as well?
Yes, they did.
After the murder?
Yes.
You mentioned that after those murders happened, what Ferris fees? They were the farthest thing from your mind.
Yes, sir.
When did they come back to your attention?
September 2nd, it was a Thursday in the afternoon, and I was looking for a file in the file cabinet, and I was unable to locate it. And lots of times if, Alex talking to a client on the phone, he'll yell for a file and we'll take it to him. So I was like, oh, it's probably in his office. So I went to his office to look for the file. And when I found it, I picked it up. And when I did, a check kind of floated like a feather to the ground. And when I bent over to pick it up, I saw the check and what it said and had on it. And I instantly became very upset because it happened to be one of the checks from the Ferris case that didn't exist.
And what did you see on the check that let you know that
Yeah.
stuck out in your mind?
It was from Chris Wilson's office. It was written to Richard Alexander Murdaugh, and at the bottom it said Ferris fees. And it was dated March.
So what did you realize of that?
I said, he's been lying this whole time. He had these funds. He lied to me. Oh my, that feeling in the back of my mind was correct.
Oh, wait. So Al is not being honest and truthful with his secretary. Golly, this is crazy. He lied the whole time.
Unfortunately, did take his funds because when I flipped the check over, I also saw that he had deposited by mobile deposit, and I can't remember.
Alice been stealing and got them worried. Oh, whoa. They need to put the camera on Alice so I can see his face. Alice been stealing, y'all.
On the back of the check, or if it just said mobile deposit on.
Page 13, see if you recognize that. It's already in evidence.
Yes, sir. That's the check that I found on September 2nd.
Right. And if you flick up one side, or the other side.
Yeah, it's got his signature, Bank of America deposit only.
You recognize that?
Whoa.
Right?
Yes, it is.
Alice.
What's the difference?
Alice, you ought to be
And the most
shut. Alice been over there stealing. How you looking? Did I do that? Look at me, y'all looking crazy.
You picked it up?
I
You
did.
saw that? Where did you take it? Did you take it anywhere?
Yeah, I went back to my desk, and you can imagine all the emotions that I was feeling at this point. I was hurt. I was angry. I just was beside myself, and I was a bit enraged too, because I asked him so many times. There were so many times that I felt like we could have clarified this and got it taken care of, but here it is from March to September, and I found this check that supposedly did not exist. And so I went to my desk, I called Amy, and I was like, I just found something. And she said, oh, shit, what did you find? And I said, are you busy? And she said, come on over. And I went over and closed her door and threw the check at her. And she was like, is this one? I said, yeah, that's one of the Ferris checks that doesn't exist.
Was Jeannie doing anything else or start doing anything else when you came down with that check?
I
Yeah.
didn't know it until I took her the check, but when I took her the check, she was like, yeah, I just ran a report yesterday. And she said, one of the attorneys is gonna call Michael Gunn later today. And I said, well, what do you mean? And that's when she told me that she thinks there's some more stuff too. Back to my suspicion with Hirschberger and Thomas More, she pulled a report and she found out that we may have other issues of stolen funds. But
Look at Alice. Alice, why you wasting taxpayer money? You know what you did. Wow, this is crazy. Look at the eyes in that courtroom. Wow.
I was not aware of any of that. I didn't know she was looking into it again. I didn't know any of that until I took her the check and she said she had just started doing stuff within the last few days.
Within a few days of this happening, what happened to the defendant's employment at the law firm?
He was fired the next day.
So what Alice doing, y'all? They fired Alice, okay? When they fired Alice for stealing, that's what he was doing. He was depositing. What do Alice have? Why do he owe people? What's going on in him? What is he doing to be owing someone? And he's a law firm. What is it? What is he doing? And they fired him for stealing money. That's what he did. Now you need some money, so you got to get rid of your loved ones, allegedly. You have to get rid of them. Now, what they trying to do now in court, y'all, is prove, well, he got fired. That's not a good sign.
And did the law firm engage in a review process to determine the extent of any alleged?
Yes, we've had months upon months of going through all of the files and finding, just following the numbers and making notes on everything.
So how did that check, just all of a sudden, y'all were looking for the check. How did that check get in her drawer and just flew down to the floor? Who put that check in there? The only person I I don't know who all work in that building. I don't know who all know Alice and what's going on. But if that check she looked in that drawer, that check one there. Alice. I think he going through something.
We're involved in this process of putting everything together and just in awe of how much was happening, and we had no idea about it.
Without going through all the exhibits, we've gone through with Jeannie Seconder, but she was the one, or one of the central ones in doing that review.
Of course, yes.
And without going through each one, is a lot of those disbursements for the fake forge account, those were disbursements that the defendant told you to put on there?
That's correct.
A lot of those disbursements, one where he corrected you and said, no, don't put forge consultant, put forge.
Yes, they were.
A lot of those checks, ones they said, oh, I'm going to see Michael Gunn later, I'll take the check myself.
Yeah, they were all for him.
It's sad. Took his son and wife out. Look at him. Not a worry.
Welcome to Zulu.
Not a word. Alex. Not a worry, Alex. You ain't worrying about that, Alex. But you know what time this is, right? You know where you going. Okay, to the Dutch. Maybe your last suit, maybe when they finish with you. Hold up, let me stop there. Look at him. Look at Alice, y'all. Look. And they ain't showing that other attorney nothing. This one right here. They ain't showing him nothing.
We'll show you what's been marked as Exhibit 441. Again, without going into the contents, tell me if you recognize that document.
Yes, this text message that Alex sent to me and Christy on September 26th, he was 2021, when he was in rehab, is my understanding.
Wait a minute. Did I hear rehab? Hold up, y'all. Hold up. Who rehab? Who was in rehab? Let me take it back a little bit. Who was in rehab? He ain't showing that other lawyer nothing. Look how he looking.
We'll show you what's been marked as Exhibit 441. Again, without going into the contents, tell me if you recognize that document.
Yes, this text that Alex sent to me and Christy on September 26th, when he was in 2021, when he was in rehab, is my understanding.
What he doing in rehab?
States 441 into evidence. Wait without objection.
No objection.
Submitted without objection.
Your Honor, I apologize. We do have the 403 objection and subject to the court prior ruling on this.
Exhibit out.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the jury before please not discuss the case.
Woo-wee! Thing is getting hot in here. You close the jury break, y'all. Then the people make me select the woo-wee for the jury. Woo-wee. So what he go to rehab for? Oh, dang, look at him. He mad too. He looking at big girl. What's funny? What you smiling about? What's so funny? Your wife did and your son.
Yes, sir, Mr. Griffin.
Just preserving our prior objections on 404B evidence under 404B and 403. This it's nothing new. I just forgot to state no additional objections than what we've already had in this line of testimony, which is this is the same line of testimony of financial misconduct. That's all.
Mr. Waters.
And I just clarified, I think, with the defense counsel that he was not adding a specific 403 objection to that. It's just a prior objection. However, this is a text from the defendant to this witness in this particular instance. Certainly, it can be read, and then there's no hearsay issue because obviously it's a statement of a party opponent, and it certainly also is relevant because it can certainly be read in the nature of an admission to the various things that are at issue in these particular proceedings. And for that reason, there's certainly probative value of an admission is certainly, I would argue, is the probative value of that is not substantially outweighed.
It introduces another issue, the issue of drug use, and I think the witness testified that he was in rehab. Is that what you said? That he was in rehab.
Listen, y'all, see? That's why I said rehab. What rehab? What was he in the rehab for? She know what she doing. She telling them. Listen, y'all.
He sent an email, and
Pay attention, Judge. They trying to get you.
And just want to be clear from the defense, the part of it, of the testimony that establishes through this witness that he was in rehab, that is not a basis for your objection.
So not.
We do have, yes, we do object to evidence of his drug use to be included in this. And we would ask,
Y'all hear that? I knew it. I knew Ellis was on drugs, allegedly. Y'all hear that? He done been in rehab. That's why I said, where's he getting all this money? How he losing money? How is he don't have no money? He's a drug addict. He's a drug addict. That's why he lost money. And then when he need money, if he a drug addict, he'll do anything to get money. So he had to get rid of his family. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Wow. Drug money and women.
be redacted for some we have at this time.
It doesn't specifically mention drug use.
Yes.
So have you all reviewed the exhibit and tell me if you have no objection based on the fact that he sent it while in rehab, then it's admissible as far as your prior bad acts.
That's right. Get him, Johanna. Get him. Look at Alice. Look at Alice, y'all. That's what wrong. Alice was on drugs. Oh my God.
Are you American?
That girl, hey, I like her. She know what she doing. He been stealing money the whole time. Alice. Lord, have mercy, Jesus. Black took your own son life. All we know, y'all. Hold up. All we know is a dealer can be in this. A drug dealer can be in this.
Cases. It was a case for the deceased and a case for his wife. So I'm expecting 4 checks total.
4
I
checks?
cut you off. You said something happened in May. Did something happen related to the Ferris case?
Yes, I received by mail the settlement package from Chris Wilson's office, but all it contained was a cover letter and the 2 expense reimbursement checks. So I emailed Vicki Lyman, which is Wilson's secretary, and said something something like, "Hey girl, I got these expense checks in. When can I expect the attorney fee checks?" And she replied to my email telling me that, excuse me, "Hey friend, you know the attorney's got that money at disbursement." And I was really shocked because I didn't even know the disbursement took place. I was never supplied.
Hold up. I get right there. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Now we right here.
The Ferris, miss, she was gonna go and talk to him about him that day, and she let her know when he got into the office. So when he got to the office, I reached out to her to let her know.
And did she come up to your area?
She did, and we have open style offices, no doors on the secretary's offices. So she had to pass by me to get Alex's office. So I saw her when she was walking past.
Wait a minute. I'm supposed to be further than it. Hold on, y'all. I think I'm right here.
September 2nd, in the afternoon, and I was looking for a file in the file cabinet, and I was unable to locate it. And lots of times, if Alex talking to a client on the phone, he'll yell for a file, and we'll take it to him. So I was like, oh, it's probably in his office. So I went to his office to look for the file, and when I found it, I picked it up, and when I did, I kind of.
Wait, hold on.
And
Okay, right here. We right here. I'm sorry.
We don't have any additional objections, Your Honor. We would, because this does raise additional character issue asked of the court. We ask that the court give, additional limiting instructions at some point in time.
How does the character in that he saying he's getting better, or what part addresses character?
He says I'm getting better every day, and it's clear from that he's in rehab.
Mr. Waters?
Your Honor, I mean, he doesn't expressly say that. I would point out that the issue of pills has already come up a few times in this trial. I'm not trying to go there, but it is when we talk about 404 and the rest.
Alice on drugs. When they brought that up, you about to take this case out, boy. Whoa, he was stealing money for his habits. Y'all sit down in your chairs. Let's tell the truth.
It is kind of part parcel of a lot of things. I mean, even the defense is examined, I believe, Ms. Seconder on the issue of pills. And on top of that, we had Chris Wilson, who testified in camera, who will also testify here today. One of the things he says when he had that confrontation with the defendant on the the afternoon.
But I know what? Alice probably owed the drug dealers some money. See, when you put that, the pills keep coming up, he could owe the drug dealers some money. And they shot and did his family like that. Or either he did it for money. Wow, this case gonna be good.
September 4th, they said, yeah, I've been stealing money and I've been hooked on pills for a while. So this is a bridge I think we have to cross at some point. The state is not trying to gild the lily with that, but at least with these various witnesses, it is part of what they're being said. As far as that specific exhibit, though, Your Honor, there's no express reference to drugs or anything like that, and it certainly is an admission. And again, I think for that reason, it's very probative and very relevant and admissible for that reason.
Well, my concern obviously is that we do not, or that I do not allow testimony involving these admissions to bleed so far into the character 403 that it has the effect of undoing the 403 analysis. A lot of testimony has come in unobjected to that touches upon the defendant's character. That's why I want to be clear what the objection is.
From the state's perspective, we are trying to walk that line. And there's a lot of financial stuff we're not even.
What I'm trying to understand, why is he taking up for Alex? He should be trying to go against Alex. What is he doing over here?
To admit, I think that we've we've limited it to things that had that connection that we discussed it in camera. So, I'm not trying to gild the lily.
I'm not sure what that means.
That's a phrase I learned from Chief Justice Toll over the years. I guess that means, piling on, I guess is a way to do that. And again, I don't have,
He looked like he got something up his sleeve because he could be for Ellis too now. He going against Ellis, but y'all got to watch these slick jokers right here. See, prosecutors, you got to watch them.
Recognize the situation we're in and trying obviously not to get out over our skis from what the admissibility of that the court has already ruled on.
I'll ponder it while we take our break, and we'll be in recess for about 15 minutes. Ma'am, you may step down. Do not discuss your testimony.
Genesis.
Whoa, y'all said if the prosecutor supposed to be working against him, why is he trying to help him? You said it's about drugs. This thing here gonna see what it is. This case can go all the way. It can be a drug dealer. He owe money, stealing money. He got to let his family be collateral. It's a lot in this case right here. Either he did to pay back. Y'all be surprised. Let me see what they talking about right here. Get him, Judge. Get him.
The objection is overruled. The exhibit is admitted.
May it please the court, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Just very quickly, when we left off, states 441 now admitted into evidence. This was a text you received from the defendant. Is that right?
That's correct.
And the date on that is September 26th.
September 26th, yes.
Is that 2021?
It is.
Tell it, girl.
Is this the text that the defendant sent to you?
It is.
I only have a couple more questions for you. Before I get to the end, one question I wanted to ask you was, what was the defendant's cell phone usage like?
He was always on his phone. Always on his cell phone, always on his office phone. He would come and grab another. He would have both phones to his ear.
Paranoid. He probably wasn't even talking to some people. Half of the time, he probably wasn't even so high. He could be. That's why he was like a Tasmaniac, moving around, in the office, going there, dropping loose and doing all that. Alex.
Defendant to go without a cell phone with him?
Absolutely.
I want to play for you what's been admitted to evidence of states 297.
He mad.
Let me have this input, please.
She busts his bubbles.
Quick, Cash. Quick. It's okay. Cash. Hey, he got a bird in his mouth. There's a chicken. Come here, Cash. Come on, Cash.
What they doing in court? Look at everybody being nosy.
you recognize any voice in that video?
I do. I hear 3 voices.
And tell me who you hear.
I hear Paul Murdaugh, Maggie Murdaugh, and Ella Murdaugh.
Wow.
I'm 100% sure.
Now the element one more time, please.
I'm sorry.
Going back to states 441. Can you read just that one sentence starting where my fingers point that the defendant said to you?
The worst part is knowing I did the most damage to those I love the most.
Cross-examination.
He mad at her. Stealing checks. If he's stealing like that, he may owe the drug dealer some money. Just keep it real. And they killed his family, or he could have did it. We don't know. Tell his son.
Ms. Griswold, were you hired by Alec to work at the law firm?
I was hired by the firm, but he was in one of the meetings and it was my understanding that I was going to be working for him.
Right. And so you interviewed with him,
I did.
and you've been working, you worked with him for
About 9 years.
9 years.
Yes, sir.
In 1 second.
I thought she said she working with him 12 years. Man, it's 9 years. I thought she said 12. Well, I know she said 12. Now she's saying 9.
Do you want to start?
Oh, wait, this a good case, y'all. This a good case. This a good case. I want to see when they go to the crowd. Let me what he's saying.
Understanding is that you moved back to Hampton because you had your father was ill.
My father was ill. Yes, sir.
And then so you moved your family back, you and your husband, and
Right. My husband and my daughter and I moved to be closer to my dad and help my mom with him.
and you got a job working for a law firm. And did you work exclusively for Mr. Alec Murdaugh?
Yes. I mean, there was other attorneys that I might do some work for here and there, but primarily Ella was who my attorney was.
And if you needed to take time off to personal matters, would you just have to run it by Alec?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
And he put family first at work, did he not?
Most of the time, yes.
And he encouraged you to put your family first.
Absolutely.
And I think your husband had a heart attack. He was in the hospital for quite some time.
Yes, for 5 weeks before he ultimately passed away.
I'm sorry to hear that. Alec encouraged you to do all you needed to do to care for him and don't worry about work.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
And you didn't miss a paycheck.
I sure didn't.
Was he a good person to work for?
It was hit or miss. I cared about him. I respected him. I loved him. And you can't be that close to work with somebody without having,
Yeah, what I asked y'all, what did I ask y'all? Did she like her attorney? Did she like Elvis? I asked y'all that. Did this woman right here like Elvis? You know, like when you're a secretary, you'll be flirting with people's husband. You know what I mean? And it seemed like he didn't have no interest in her.
family members. But it was hard to work for him sometimes. He was a bit erratic, and for all the respect and love I had for him, it was still very difficult to work for him.
I think your description was he was like a Tasmanian devil that would come through
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
He would.
And he was frenetic.
Yes.
Okay, and but people came to him if they needed something, right?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
And so he had a lot of people coming, and did he ever say no to anybody's request?
He didn't know the word no.
Right. And, well, he would want to schedule his appointments around his family's commitments, wouldn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
So like if the Buster and Paul had baseball season, he'd be sure to block all that out off his calendar, wouldn't he?
Most of the time. Sometimes he didn't tell us about personal matters or things where they were going until the day of or whatever, and we would have to reschedule stuff. But if there was on the calendar, yes, he was going to be there for anything that the boys had going on.
So he loved his son.
Right, family first.
Yes,
Right?
that's correct.
You would agree with that?
I would definitely agree with that.
And you got to know Maggie,
I
you know?
did. Yes, sir.
And she was thoughtful for you on your birthday and anything you had going on?
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think you mentioned the Ferris trial in Columbia. That was in Columbia, wasn't it?
That was, yes, sir.
And you went to the trial, didn't you?
I did.
And you remember Alec going up on a Sunday and he spent the night in the hospital because his dad was going to have surgery the next day?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it seems like it's been a long time, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
Look at Alex.
Maggie came up on Monday and stayed with him during the trial, right?
I never did see her. Our paths never crossed because I was kind of in work mode, but I know she was there.
Right. And he traveled frequently with Maggie on work trips, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
And he would take his family to conventions and when they would have work, right?
As far as I know, yes, sir.
And Alec wasn't the type of guy that would go off on a guy's trip. His trips were family trips.
I don't know that without a shadow of a doubt, but you know, I know a lot of his trips were family related. Something with him and Maggie and the boys and their significant others.
Right. And
They trying to make sure that make it like he cared about his family. He cared about his family. That don't mean nothing. In this case, too. Oh, yeah. Hey, that's a good case. But I'm sure. Hold on, y'all. It about to go out. Hold on. Camper, get down.
And he was real close with Maggie's family too, wasn't he?
Yes, it appeared that they were very close.
And if Mr. Brandstatter's, Maggie's dad, couldn't get in touch with Alec on his cell phone, he would call you and ask, where's Alec?
Yeah, he would call myself or Christy and say, "Hey, can you get Alec to give me a call?" Yeah.
Sit down, Minnie.
And they communicated quite frequently, didn't
They did.
they? And did you meet Mr. and Ms. Brandstatter?
I didn't meet him until we had Mr. Randolph he got the
Order of the Palmetto?
Yeah, and that's when I met them. That was the first time I'd ever met Maggie's parents.
Sit down. How get on my nerve?
And if Alec was in even a deposition, and if Maggie or Paul or Buster would call, I mean, he'd walk out and take the call.
I never was present with them. I've heard rumors of such, but I was never present with him at depositions and mediations.
Well, in the office,
No, he would have calls with his family. He always talked.
Now, you were talking about the night that you learned that Maggie and Paul were murdered, that you thought when you first got the call that it was about Mr. Randolph.
Correct.
And we're talking about Mr. Randolph murder.
That's correct.
Alex and Randy's dad.
Yes, sir.
Because it was well known that he had just been put back in the hospital and His condition was not well.
Yeah, it was my understanding that at that point, the family was making arrangements to bring him home and hospice may be involved. And so obviously we were all expecting awful news.
And he in fact did die on Thursday, June 10th, I believe.
I believe so too, yes, sir.
And after that, you said that, the whole law firm rallied around not just Alec, but Alec and Randy and their families.
Absolutely.
And
And we rallied around each other because we were scared, we were worried.
right. And then after, well, I guess there was like a tidal wave of media surrounding the law firm at some point in time, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
And so y'all had to, be careful with comings and goings, and that was kind of scary.
It was, we ended up having to lock the front door because they would just walk in and just overwhelm the receptionist. So it was became like a daily habit there for a few weeks. So we had to end up locking the door.
And Maggie tried to murder. Alec Murdaugh became front and center of a media spotlight, didn't
He did, yes, sir.
he? And it wasn't, and there were cameras outside the court, outside the Supreme Court, right?
There were, yes, sir.
There were cameras out at Moselle.
I think so. I didn't go out there, but I'm assuming they probably were.
And all the buzz was about Alec Murdaugh and what happened to Maggie and Paul, right?
Yes, sir.
And all the while you were around Alec on occasion, and you noticed his demeanor, and he was grieving greatly, was he not?
He was grieving, and he was also very humble. He had changed dramatically. Afterwards, he was more mellow, and he would come in the mornings, and instead of yelling, "Christy," and telling us what to do, he would actually come to our desk and say hello and check on us, and we would in turn check on him. So he was very different after the murders.
And he had a hard time working after the murders?
Absolutely, yeah, as you could imagine.
Sure. And you were aware, to keep up with his whereabouts, but he spent a lot of time with Maggie's parents?
Yeah, he would tell me that he would have weekend plans, and I would hear him on the phone with his in-laws and making plans to meet up for the weekend.
And he stayed in Somerville with Buster, with Maggie's parents?
As far as I know, sir.
So let me see, before it ends, it about to end, what are some source of values that she explained that Alice Murdaugh has? Because you're going to need values also to make decisions. So I know she spoke on his family. He loved his family. Spoke on, only thing I got out of there is the family life experiencing when he went to when he went to rehab, because he spent most of his money on drugs, whether pills or not, it's still drugs. These are the two that I heard out the value that influenced his decision that he had to make. He had to make some decisions. So the only two I heard thus far is his family and his life experience with drugs and work.
And he enrolled up to the upstate, Lake Huey or something.
I remember him saying, the family had property or something up there, his in-laws, and they were all getting together.
And you're aware that Alec would not spend a single night after Maggie and Paul were murdered at Moselle.
Yes, sir. I knew that.
And when he was working in Hampton, he was either commuting from Bristow or staying with his brother Randy or something like that.
I knew he was either staying with family or, you know, he was coming back from Somerville or Greenville from being with the in-laws, but that's all I know.
But he never spent one night more at Moselle.
Not as far as I know, yes, sir.
Now, you were asked questions by Mr. Waters about the Ferris matter was the furthest thing from your mind after murder of Maggie and Paul, right?
Yes, sir.
And that you didn't do any more about that after Maggie and Paul's murder, right?
That's correct.
But I think you also said that you conveyed your concerns to Jeannie Seckinger and that she essentially took over.
That, yes, when I gave it to her, I knew she told me she would take it from there. And so I know I gave it to her and that was that.
And so there's really nothing more for you to do on the Ferris matter after you turn it over to Jeannie, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I know what they trying to go what to get to. He slick trying to get to her to find out you hadn't heard it. Who doing what? In between him, to me, it sounded like in between her and the legal aid lawyer, the legal aid parent. Kill me, y'all. I'm getting sleepy. I get sleepy. They almost finished, but
you were in this Alec's office one day looking for a file, and you stumbled across this canceled check.
Yes, sir. It must have been underneath the file I wanted in between that and something else. So when I lifted my file, it flooded the floor.
And you felt, I think you talked to this jury about how this whole thing put you in a bad spot, and your daughter said you need to dust your resume off or something like that.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I was hoping I was wrong. I was hoping that my gut feeling was wrong and that what I was looking at was not money being stolen and that he was not doing that. I was hoping I was wrong, but at the same time, I was scared to turn it in because what if they, look into it and it's nothing, there's nothing going on.
Wait a minute, hold up. How you gonna be scared or anything and you was worrying about the checks? So come on now, don't contradict what you're saying, ma'am. Because you said that you was so worried about looking for that check that came from his office. Now watch what you say now.
And then it disturbs the relationship we had working together. And what would I do? Would I be able to stay at the firm after turning him in on something so bad that he could lose his job over it? So I was concerned. I was concerned for my livelihood. I'm a single mom with a teenage daughter.
And nothing happened to your job, right?
No, sir. Nothing happened to me.
It's Alec who lost his job, right?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And you mentioned there was an evidence as defendant's exhibit number 441 is a text that you received from Alec, right?
That's correct.
And was it just you or was it you and
me and Christy, his other secretary?
The other secretary. And the date is Sunday, September 26th at 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon.
Yes, sir.
And you mentioned it was from rehab.
Yes, as far as I knew, it was rehab. I assumed it was probably one of the steps out to those that you hurt, you're telling them you're sorry.
And Alec was in rehab?
Yes, sir, as far as I know, he was.
Read the whole email if you don't mind.
Okay, sure. Hey, Sally, I'm only a little better each day. I'm the worst, still feel like I have the flu. Real weak. I have been worried about y'all, and I'm sorry I didn't get to tell y'all myself. I know both of you have been hurt badly by me. I know it sounds hollow, but I am truly sorry. The better I get, the more guilt I have. I have an awful lot to try to make right when I get out of here. The worst part is knowing I did the most damage to those I love the most. I'm not real sure how I let myself get where I did. I'm committed to getting better and hope to mend as many relationships as I can. Special people and important to me. Please know how sorry I am to have made you part of my misdeeds. I hope you are doing as well as possible. I love you very much. Please tell Haley hello and I'm sorry. All my love.
Thank you. That's all the questions I have. Ma'am.
Thanks for that.
Mr. Griffin asked you about whether or not you were worried about losing your job over the Ferris fees. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And he asked you to finish, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
After the murders, but before September, the defendant still had his job, didn't
Yes, he did.
he? He still had his law license, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
You said, in response to the defense counsel's question, that people came to him if they needed something, right?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. He was trusted by everybody, and they knew that if they needed something on.
They say good things, and then the next minute they say bad things. Now, if Alex had money, like she said, he'll help everybody out, why would he steal a check and deposit it on the mobile?
I trusted him. Yes, sir.
People came to him for everything, like all these clients right here?
Yes, sir.
He was a prominent lawyer,
Yes, he was.
one of the most prominent in the region.
Yes.
What that mean?
And all of that came to an end in September 2021 when all of that came out, did it not?
Right. When I found the check, I knew that he had lied to me and that he'd stolen that money.
Okay, so 1 minute, Alex helping the people, so nice, they trusted him. Now he this. Then he that. I know they feeling like me out there. Look at them, the jury.
Sit down.
That's it, y'all. That's it with her. That's it with her. Now, I'm not gonna do that. This it. This one right here. We'll do this one. Not tomorrow, probably Monday. This the one they got today. So y'all, this right here. This. Let me come back to my thing. Let me come back. Let me come out. Let me X out. This is very interesting. And it was strange how the check ended up in the drawer when she opened it. Somebody working with Alex. Stop, can you? Somebody working with Alex. And when if he on drugs like that, man, anything, it could be anything. You know what I mean? You're on pills and stuff like that. Them pills call one pill called money. Yeah, one pill called costs money. Y'all, I am so tired. But I just love this case because it's interesting. I mean, I wondered. I chose to hit her because she was saying a lot about what went on in the office. You know, what y'all think? What y'all think going on? Y'all think he stole them checks, like it said? I don't. And then he let that lady come out that office and then just walk past her. If she could be involved to the paralegal. Y'all, what y'all think? What when you get a chance, put down in the comment what are you thinking about this case? What are you thinking that what that paralegal just said? Y'all trust in her? Y'all believe in her? What y'all think? Y'all believe Alex is guilty or not guilty? We still ain't heard everything. But I want to thank everybody for watching this content. Please don't be afraid to put your what you think, your opinion, your beliefs, what you believe inside the comment section. That'll help. You count. And the jury. Now they're gonna have to pick who they want to go to court. So this is gonna be real good. This is gonna be a good case. And once again, this case right here was from South Carolina. So I'm gonna put the invite up if anybody want to talk only about this case, about her. No, she was suspicious because she said that she y'all remember when she said that she every time she was absent, they would do that particular case. In one case, she couldn't do because it was some family member. And for him to be going to rehab, he had a bad habit. So imagine what his wife's going through with him being on drugs. Imagine him coming late, doing tripping and stuff. And it could have happened with his, I'm say allegedly, okay? But making a decision is being responsible. Now, is Alex being responsible? We ain't heard Alex talk, but his attorney talking. Yes, he innocent for the things that she admitted that about the checks. That he guilty about stealing that check. So it's a lot of things, when you be making responsible decisions. Also, his values was slack. Because when you talk about decision making, your values have to be in order. Source of values was his family and the life experience. Doing what he did because he went to rehab. So at least he admit that. But values provide criteria. Yes, that's what it means. That's what it provides. So people, in every case that we have covered, y'all always hear me say, making this. There are 6 steps to making a decision. So Alex knew his problem. He had a problem. And he knew that the 6 steps of making a decision, he had state the situation. That's what we think when we did this case. The situation is some money missing. And another thing when you do a decision making is list the option. His wife and his son was killed. What are y'all who did it? Okay. Weigh the possible decision is what the outcome is what they did in court. They was using witnesses to tell what happened. And that's everybody, who works under him. Number 4, consider his value. We spoke on that. Only 2 value I got out of this content right here was Alex, family, and life experience. That's what I got. Number 5, make a decision and then act. Alex had to make a decision what he was gonna do. In this case right here, you got a wife and a son deceased, and he's leaving. He has drug issues. So how did he act on this situation? As you saw, he had 2 attorneys. So he acted on what he needed to act on. And last, you have to evaluate, when you got to evaluate your decision that you made. This in everyday life, y'all. You have to go back and look at your decision and evaluate your decision, okay? Your choice. Was it good what you did? So I think when he evaluated his case, he did go to rehab, because doing drugs can make you can affect your family. You know, we don't know what was going on. So I appreciate y'all don't have any more questions. Next time I put a question up there, and then we'll decide what the question. We'll answer the question together. All right, y'all. Since nobody else gonna show up, y'all can tell I got a little overwhelmed. I was kind of sleeping right there, but this part right here was interesting. But the next part, I wish I can take my laptop to work. I can pull it up and go on to try to get it out the way. But y'all like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate everyone for being here. I didn't have y'all can see now, I don't have no mods. I got to work on it. The help. I need help. And everything. But anyway, I ain't gonna never stop doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna do what I want to do until I get tired of it. Y'all like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. This is the real deal. Lanita's Gives Reaction. Yeah, come live with me every morning at 5:10, 8 o'clock, and maybe later tonight. But I came in this evening early. Okay? Y'all like, share, and subscribe. This is me. You already know. I will talk to y'all later. I'm out.